Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you have been having a great week. You know, when you call someone a racist for supporting gun control, it shuts them down. And you know why? It's because there is literally no comeback for this truth. Gun control has always been about stripping people of empowerment. I know because I've been studying the history of slavery in America and the Holocaust during World War II. People who have been disempowered are weak and vulnerable, and that's presently what our government wants. They want you to be completely dependent on them because that gives them power. You know, in 1927, one of my favorite historical figures, Mao Zedong, said, "Political power grows out of the barrel of a gun." I love this quote. I couldn't agree with him more, which is why I have the position on gun control that I have. Kamala recently talked about how minorities can't handle their rights and so shouldn't be able to have access to those rights.
Black Americans are 10 times more likely to be victims of gun violence.
So I guess what she says is because she is in favor of strict gun control that black people are 10 times less worthy of their rights. You see, this position is in stark contrast to a number of esteemed black scholars who have been writing about stuff like the civil rights movement. Kelly Carter Jackson recently published her book, Force and Freedom, Black Abolitionists and the Politics of Violence. In her book, Dr. Carter Jackson wrote, U.S. leaders realized that slave rebellions were always possible and that firearms had to be kept out of the hands of the enslaved. Blacks understood this too. Slavery was done through violence and would only be ended through violence.
Dred Scott does a lot of damage. And what it reveals is that white people cannot imagine a world in which black people are free. One of the dissenting justices says, can you imagine black people walking around with guns? Can you imagine black people being able to own arms? Absolutely not. And so it gets struck down because it is trying to solidify the idea of white supremacy and also solidify the fact that slavery will be with us for years to come, if not forever.
Me personally, I'd like to point out that about 60 years later, Hitler took this concept to heart while planning the genocide we are all familiar with. Anyhow, if you support gun control, you are basically a racist who supports the means of slavery. Disempowered people cannot fight back, and that's what you want. I don't want that. I want people to be strong and capable of defending themselves from any kind of threat. Anyhow, guys, that was just a quick update, and I will have more later in the week. Stay safe, be lawful, and never give up your rights.
Hell yes, we're gonna take your AR-15.